Welcome 4-plussers and YouTubers to Battle Report 12, Chaos Space Marines versus Chaos Demons. Many of you are probably thinking, man, you guys have this matchup a bunch. It is true, we do. Of the 10 or so regular players at the club, 4 have Chaos Space Marines, 5 have Demons, so it's a pretty common matchup, but at least it's usually a good game. We rolled Purge the Alien mission with Hammer and Anvil deployment. It will not be Night Fight first turn. I did win the deploy first, go first, but I went ahead and deferred to Kevin. Kevin's forces of chaos are rolling with the Demon Prince of Tzeentch with a black mace, 2 obliterators directly above him. In front of them is a small contingent of Plague Marines and a 10-man Chaos Space Marine squad manning the Aegis defense line and the quad cannon. Further down the defense line is another small contingent of Plague Marines and Nurgle Bikers with the Chaos Lord. The Chaos Lord in the Bikers is the Warlord. He rolled Fear for his Warlord trait, not terribly useful against demons, but he did get a nice boon that allows him to reroll failed armor saves. Lastly, there's a shy pair of Obliterators hiding in the second story of the ruins behind the Bikers. The Demons came prepared with 2 Nurgle Soul Grinders with Phlegm, a Bloodthirster with 2 Axes of Khorne, Corpulescence, and the reroll failed and vulnerable saves gift. Name's escaping me right now. Behind the ruins is where he's hiding out right now because, let's be honest, 5 in 6 chances that I'm going second. He is the Warlord. Received the Warlord trait that allows demons within 12 inches to reroll instability tests. Didn't really come into play this game. At the bottom of the frame is a 20-man Pink Horror Squad joined by 2 Heralds of Tzeentch. One of them has a Portaglyph, the other has Book of Names. I know it's called Grimoire of True Names, but really, I'm not going to say it. It's kind of clunky. So Book of Names it is. They both have Prescience and Flickering Flames, and one of them has Misfortune, the other has the Ignore Cover as their psychic powers. They're both level 3. 20 Bloodletters and a Herald of Khorne on a Juggernaut with the Raged Locust waits in reserves. The Demons steal the initiative and go first. Turn 1 Demons. Pink Horrors get Prescience, as does the Soul Grinder next to him. They both move up to try and do bad things in the shooting phase. The Bloodthirster flies a full 24 inches forward, and the Soul Grinder ends up kind of getting stuck in the muck. Didn't make his difficult terrain enough to climb out of it. In the beginning of the shooting phase, the Pink Horrors end up being long, so it's just the Soul Grinders this phase. The Prescient Soul Grinder blasts away with his Phlegm, kills 3 Nurgle Bikers. It's a good result. The other Soul Grinder blasts away with his Phlegm and kills 4 Chaos Space Marines. Not a bad turn 1 overall. Turn 1 Chaos Space Marines, the Demon Prince flies 24 and repossessions in an attempt to get to the Pink Horrors maybe next turn or 2 turns from now. The Nurgle Bikers get out of line of sight of the Soul Grinder. In the shooting phase, everything shoots at the Bloodthirster. Chaos Space Marines with the quad cannon hit him 6 times, put 4 wounds on him and managed to slip 2 past his 3+ armor, but he stays airborne. Then the Plague Marines hit him with their bolt guns, no wounds, but he does manage to stay airborne again. Then the first set of Obliterators put 8 assault cannon shots into him. They wound him, he makes his save, but he stays airborne. Finally, the 2 shy Obliterators get 1 las cannon hit on him and manage to leak that 3rd wound through. Still doesn't crash. Had to take, and he made 4 grounding tests. Pretty good. He's got 3 wounds left thanks to Corpulescence giving him that extra wound, and it's a good thing that I've got It Will Not Die, because it looks like I'm going to be making some rolls. Turn 2 Demons, Pink Horrors and the Soul Grinder once again get Prescience. The Pink Horrors move up this time and take the stairs, so there's no difficult terrain required. Chuck tosses out the Portaglyph, and once again it hits nowhere close to where he was aiming. The Herald of Tzeentch decides that this is the perfect time in the game to taunt the Bloodthirster, and uses his real name in the Book of Names and reduces his save for him to a 6-up. Lastly, the 3 Pink Horrors come gibbering out of the portal. Soul Grinder climbs out of the muck. That's a good thing. In the shooting phase, the warp is calm. Again, it was the first turn. I don't think I mentioned that. The Prescient Soul Grinder uses his Harvester Cannon to shoot at the Demon Prince. Hits him, wounds him with all 3 shots. Demon Prince then goes on to make all 3 saves and not be grounded. Next, the 3 pink horrors that wandered out of the portaglyph, they shoot flickering flames up at him. They get 1 hit, no wounds, and he spirals out of the sky and takes his first wound on impact. Next up is the shooting of the heralds and the pink horror squad, the large squad. I think this should kill him outright. I got 76 prescient strength 6 shots. I mean, this is just fistful of dice. Or not. 1 herald fails his psychic test. The pink horrors are denied. And the end result is only 3 shots on the 2d6 that I do get to roll, and all the wounds are saved. The Chaos turn 2, the Demon Prince and the Bikers advance. In the shooting phase, once again, it's all about the epic Bloodthirster. The Chaos Space Marines with the quad gun shoot him, manage to wound him 3 times. He makes all his saves, passes his grounding test. Next, the Plague Marines shoot at him with no hits. Then the Obliterators behind the Aegis defense line shoot Twinling Plasma at him, and again, no hits. Finally, the Bikers do manage to hit him. They don't wound him, and he passes his final grounding test. So, good for him. He stays airborne, and now the Bikers aren't going to have anything to charge. The shy Obliterators that shot him last turn with the las cannons, they don't have range on the Bloodthirster because the only other weapon they have over 24 inches is the plasma cannons. So they shoot the plasma cannons at the pink horrors, but scatter pretty bad and only manage to kill 1. The Demon Prince charges the 3 horror squad from the portaglyph and kills them outright. We expected that. Then consolidates towards the large horror squad. Turn 3 demons, we put prescience on the pink horrors and fail to cast it on the Bloodthirster and suffer a perils. The Tzeentch Herald must realize that the Bloodthirster is all that stands between him and the Demon Prince. So this time he uses the Book of Names properly and gives the Bloodthirster a 3+ invulnerable save that's rerollable with his greater gift. The Thirster lands on the ground and prepares to charge the Demon Prince. The Bloodletters and the Herald arrive, but they scatter dangerously close to the table edge. The Soul Grinder moves to get a little bit better cover save. In the shooting phase, the Warp eebs, and that really sucks because now all my demons have -1 to their save. The pink horrors shoot and kill 2 of the Bikers. The Bloodletters, now with the 6+ save, run into the not a form of template kill all of us. In close combat, we make a mistake, but it makes for a much more epic battle report, so I'm just going to kind of gloss over it, but I'll explain what happened. The Bloodthirster wounds the Demon Prince 3 times, and then the Demon Prince makes 3 epic saves. You can see the dice, 5, 5, 5. The mistake that we made is Warp-Ebb actually says that it's all the models with the Demon rule have their save reduced, not demonic instability. So what that means is technically the Demon Prince's save was a 6+, and he should have died. But it's alright. I didn't realize it till I wrote the battle report, and it made for a better game, really. When the Demon Prince swings back, the Bloodthirster, he's got a 4+ save. He ends up taking 3 wounds, and the rerolls actually save him. So combat ends up being a push. Chaos Space Marine turn 3, Operation Kill the Bloodletters begins. The Obliterators jump down for some heavy flamer shots, the Plague Marines close into rapid fire range, and the Obliterators that were manning the defense line swing back around for a couple plasma cannon shots. The Bikers advance to get an auto charge on the pink horrors. Lots and lots of shooting, plenty of lookout sirs. The net result is 15 Bloodletters killed. 6+ saves totally suck. The Bikers soften the pink horrors a little bit, killing 2 with bolter fire. In close combat, the Bike Lord and his buddy charge in. They manage to kill 3 pink horrors. They kind of flub their assault rolls. The Tzeentch Herald hides from the challenge that the Chaos Biker guy has to issue. But the horrors, just the sheer number of them, they manage to get a single kill and realized they needed 4s to hit and 6s to wound. But they had prescience, so they got lots of hits, and they managed to get a few wounds, and the Biker champion actually ended up dying. They end up losing the combat by 2. I roll a 7 for instability, and technically there is 6, so I'll lose 1 more model. The Bloodthirster's close enough that if I want to, I could re-roll that, but I decide not to. Best thing is just take that single casualty, because it could have been a lot worse. I could have rolled like a 12, or I could have, or not a 12, I could have rolled like an 11, and taken a bunch more. I could have rolled a 12, and the whole squad could have disappeared, so we'll just let that go. Bloodthirster this time does kill his Demon Prince foe, and he's going to go ahead and consolidate, and just leave the Chaos Lord to the Soul Grinder and the Pink Horse. Demons turn 4, Soul Grinder tees up the charge. The reason I have the charge open is when I took casualties, I made sure I took them from the Soul Grinder's side in the last round of combat. And then when I did the failed instability, I took the casualty from that same side again. And then at the end of combat, during the 3-inch pile-in step, I made sure to move models that were further away first to close off the ability of closer models to wrap around and prevent the charge. And you know, it's these subtleties of movement that are very important in situations like this. You still have to move models first that can get into base to base, but it doesn't define what order that they have to be moved in. So in other words, you don't have to move the closest that can get to base, you can move the furthest. If anyone's actually interested in just diagramming this out and seeing how it works, post in the comments and I'll put together a short video for you. The Bloodletter and Bloodthirsters advance. The Soul Grinder is going to advance to attempt the long charge. The Portaglyph's going to spawn a few pink horrors, but I didn't get them in the picture. I think it makes 5 of them. In the shooting phase, Khorne is apparently still pretty pissed off about the Book of Names Bloodthirster incident. So I roll a Punished by the Gods, and it hits the Book of Names guy. However, he does manage to escape with only a single wound. Lucky for him, could have been worse. Close combat, we charge the Obliterators with the Herald, the Plague Marines with the Bloodthirster. The Soul Grinder going to go ahead and slam on in on the bike. The Plague Marine champ challenges the Bloodthirster and is killed several times over. The Obliterators lose 3 wounds total and do 1 back in return. The Soul Grinder has pretty good round of close combat. He gets 4 out of 5 hits, and the Sigil of Corruption just isn't working so good for the Bike Lord. And he ends up failing 3 out of the 4 saves, and that's the end of the Biker Warlord. He does manage to kill a pink horror with his dying stab. And lastly, the Bloodthirster regains a wound from It Will Not Die. A little happy face there. Turn 4, Chaos Space Marines. The Obliterators move back up onto the line, take a couple multi-melta shots at the Soul Grinder in the open. Only managed to stun him. The Chaos Space Marines and Plague Marines behind them go ahead and combine fire at the 5-man Pink Horror Squad and only kill 3. It is a kill point game, so that was a good idea. The Portaglyph makes lots of small and easy to get kill points. I don't have a picture of it, but in close combat, the Bloodletters break out of the combat with the Obliterators by killing them, and the Bloodthirster kills 2 Plague Marines, but he does take a wound back on himself. Turn 5, Demons. Soul Grinder shuffles over to get shots on the Marines manning the Aegis defense line. The Portaglyph makes a single pink horror this turn. The Herald breaks off to go kill some Obliterators. Meanwhile, the Bloodletters are going to assist the Bloodthirster in case he whiffs his attacks again. In the shooting phase, the Dark Prince thirsts, but there's really no effect. The 2 Glyph Pink Horrors, the squads that came out of the Glyphs, and the Soul Grinder that is not stunned combine forces to finish off the Chaos Space Marines. They actually kill all but one of them, but then a failed Warp Flame test finishes off the last one. The Bloodthirster and Bloodletters finish off the Plague Marines in close combat and consolidate towards the remaining forces. The Herald charges in and kills an Obliterator. Turn 5, the Chaos Space Marines, all that's left is 1 Obliterator in combat and the squad of Plague Marines over here. The Plague Marines move to advance the quad, or to man the quad cannon. In the shooting phase, they finish off the 2-man Pink Horror squad that was left over there from the Portaglyph. Close combat, the Obliterator and the Herald trade wounds, and that's a push. And the game ends. Demon victory. The Demons killed 6 units. They got Linebreaker and Slay the Warlord. And the Chaos Space Marines killed 2 units and got First Blood. So the final score was 8-3. The game was really close early on. and then it kind of got away from Kevin, especially when the Demon Prince and the bikes died. Overall, it was a good game. Kevin mentioned that he thought that holding the Obliterators in reserve for Deep Strike to get rear armor on the Soul Grinders might have been a better idea, and I completely agree. The Obliterators, unfortunately, really, they only have one long-range weapon anymore. The change in this edition kind of nerfed them again. You know, they've suffered 2 nerfs from the changes. You know, they started off as Strength 5 had all the guns, and then moved down to, you know, or Toughness 5 had all the guns, and they moved down to Toughness 4 had only energy weapons, and now they're Toughness 4 and can't shoot the same weapon in back-to-back turns. It's really bad design, but anyhow, good game. Thank you, Kevin, and I hope you all enjoyed watching it. Again, thanks for watching, and I look forward to the next game.